Now, this month our topic is all around masterminding and really understanding what is masterminding, what's the best way to mastermind, what are the various ways to mastermind, and how do you get the most out of masterminding. Now, enclosed in this session, you will find your Masterminding Manual. And in this manual, we've basically given you a whole bunch of ideas and ways for you to start masterminding on your own with your own group, whether it's members from within the Praxis Now community or a group of people that you put together. So what I did is I just created some notes from the years and years and years that I've done masterminding. And I can share with you, without a doubt, masterminding has been one of the top 5 things I have ever done and continue to do in order to accelerate my business and personal life growth. Top 5. And the masterminding concept really came back. If you want to go far back enough in time, I'd probably say Jesus had a mastermind group with his disciples. But if we want to go to when it was really first written about, you'd have to go to Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, as he describes Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the wealthiest men in the world, but didn't really know anything about the steel business, and he formulated a group of individuals that had different disciplines, different skills, different expertises, and he formed a group, a mastermind group, that got together to discuss on a regular basis the things that were working, the things that weren't, ideas, problems, challenges, solutions, etc., contacts. And from that group, when they got together, they also believed that as a group, they connected to the field, the mastermind. And Andrew Carnegie and his colleagues, as well as Napoleon Hill, believed that when 2 or more people get together, you form a mastermind. I also believe, based on my research on meditation and based on remote viewing, when we actually sit quietly and ask the universe for answers, that also, to me, constitutes a mastermind group. And so there are a variety of different ways to conduct mastermind groups. You could do them on the phone. You could do them in person. You could use Skype or any one of the other video-based programs so you could see each other. You could do them in a variety of different, you could actually even do them by email or snail mail. If you think about what pen pals did, many, many years ago, that was a form of masterminding back and forth. And so the key here to understand is that there is an enormous amount of power when you create a process, a system to formalize an outcome. And so in the manual that you have, I talk with you a bit about masterminding. We gave you some guidelines, okay, that you can follow, and these are just guidelines to follow. You don't have to follow every one of them, but I can share with you that we have done a lot of this over the last 25 years since I started masterminding. My first mastermind group was in 1985. And so there's very specific ways to run a mastermind group and to put together a mastermind group. So you've got some of those things here. And then what I can also share with you is that there are masterminding principles and invocations that you unify everybody who's in the group with, and you begin every mastermind group with reading the 7 mastermind principles, which I've given you as well. And there's also a dedication and a covenant that either each individual would read before you would start a mastermind session, or the leader of the group would read it on behalf of the whole group. And so the first dedication and covenant is very, very simple, and that's on page 4 of your manual. And it says, I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a successful, filled, happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to God and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. Now, I already know some of you are going to say, well, what if I don't want to have God in that word? Take God out. If you don't have anything in that word or in that sentence, take it out. This is just a way for you to get centered and for you to allow the mastermind process to begin. And then each time you have a mastermind group, I have everybody read this other section out loud with me. And since we are doing a live masterminding session today so I can show you how I do it and how you can do it, I'll wait on those for just a moment. And then on page number 5, all right, what you should do is print this out whenever you're having your mastermind session. So you write down the challenges or projects or opportunities that you want to share. Then you write down your suggestions from the group, the contacts of the people that they've been given to you, and areas that you have committed to take action on. So you use this one little sheet just to keep yourself on track. Simple stuff. We're giving you the tools to make it easy for you. And then I took one of the agendas from a former mastermind session of my own. And so this just lays out a process for you to follow. So any one of you that's a Practice Now member and client, you can use all of this for your own good, okay? And then the Mastermind Facilitator and Training Guide is if you're going to be the one who's putting together a mastermind and you're going to lead the group, because every group needs one leader. You can't have everybody leading a mastermind group, so you have one leader, and you can rotate leaders based on number of sessions you do or based on months. You can choose all those rules, but this is a sample of a facilitator's guide of the things to consider and do. And then we've got a sample agenda as well over here on page number 5, and a call process of what you do in the first 5 minutes, what do you do in the next 2 minutes, what do you do in the next 10 minutes. And so it's really easy to give you all those documents, but instead of just doing that, we are going to invest probably about an hour today masterminding with 5 of our clients, and they are on standby right now waiting for me to introduce them. And we're going to go through the masterminding process so that you can observe, how I'm leading them, but also so that you can listen to how I do the process with them and how we narrow things down so that it's easy for other people to offer their experiences, advice, contacts, references, etc. So we're going to do it live. What I also want to do to engage all of you at home is, I'm at home or at work, I'm going to give you a chance to chime in as well with solutions to each one of the people that we're masterminding.